Ladies and gentlemen, it's Resident Evil Requiem week here on the channel. And although I don't have it just yet, I do have a little Resident Evil video here for you today. We're going to be taking a look at Resident Evil 7, the game that really kind of reinvigorated Capcom. And they've just been on a historic run ever since. We're going to check out Resident Evil 7 on the Steam Deck Oled. And we're going to compare it to the Steam OS Legion Go S model with the 32 gigabytes of RAM and the Z1 Extreme. All right, so I know you guys always like to start with the settings. So we've got basically the Steam Deck is as it loaded up, which is pretty much like all the high settings. I did turn off the motion blur because I really hate motion blur in video games. And on the Legion Go S Steam OS model, and don't worry, it's getting cut off the screen a little bit, but we'll correct it for the rest of the video. But it's running at its higher resolution, so basically the 1280p, or excuse me, 1200p. And it's also basically got the same settings like all the high settings, so it's really pushing like 1.5x the amount of pixels that the Steam Deck OLED is. So definitely keep that in mind in the video, and you can kind of see right off the bat here, the Steam Deck OLED with its HDR and its really deep blacks is a really great looking game here on the Steam Deck OLED. Now, the Legion Go S also looks great, and you get that increased sharpness, so you can definitely tell there is a little bit more of a nice sharp image. And if you have not played Resident Evil 7 and you're watching this video, maybe you're trying to get ready for Resident Evil Requiem, like, well, first, why are you going to play that without playing this? But whatever, that's fine. I haven't played all the Resident Evils either, so I'm in the same boat as you. I've played 1, 2, 3. I really haven't played 4. I know that's like a big, huge faux pas. Don't turn off the video. I'm going to play it. Just don't kill me. But really, I really like Resident Evil 1 the most. I like Resident Evil 7 here quite a bit. Resident Evil Village as well. Really great game. I haven't played 5 and 6 either. So I've played a lot of them. Played Code Veronica back in the day as well. So I played a little bit of Resident Evil 0. But I really like this new trilogy of games. I really like the first person in these. I think it just adds to the atmosphere and the tension, which you're going to kind of see in this little video here. So if you have not played Resident Evil 7, this is the very beginning of the game, so don't worry, there's not going to be like any crazy spoilers or anything. But we just kind of like made it into the house here, and I'm not even going to spoil like the location or anything, so you can jump in the game and figure that stuff out for yourself. But basically, the beginning of this game, you're just kind of like feeling this area out, this house out a little bit. And, we're going to encounter our first little, what I call like they call it in movies like found footage. I think this game does a super cool job of utilizing found footage in the form of like VHS cassette tapes. And then you can go, find these different TVs where you can play the videos and watch them. And you actually kind of take part in them too, which you'll see here in just a second. So this is a super cool game, ultra scary as well. Some of you guys out there played it in VR. There's no way I'm playing this thing in VR. It would scare the crap out of me. But again, you're probably watching this video for the comparison. Again, just some more of the setup here. The Legion Go S, it's the Z1 Extreme, the 32 gigabyte Steam OS model. This is running the Steam version of the game. And again, it's running at 1200p. We have it set to the performance mode, so that's the Legion performance mode. It's basically have the frame rate basically set to 120, so you can kind of see it most of the time here, pushing 100 plus on the FPS, which again, that is very impressive. We don't really know at 800p how many frames the Steam Deck OLED would push, because it's pretty much just hitting that max 90 frames, which is the highest frame rate that the Steam Deck OLED can hit. But you can see it's doing quite well. This game is, it's 9 years old, came out 2017. And so really, you would expect it to be able to play pretty well on these handheld PCs, but at least the early indications are that it plays extremely well. Now, I will say, if you haven't played this and you're loading it up for the first time, I did have an issue on the Steam version on both of these handhelds. So this happened on the Steam Deck OLED, happened on the Legion Go S as well, where there's like the very beginning sequence, like you're driving a car basically up toward the house, and the outside of the car was like that you know, that warning screen, which you can actually see on screen right now, was like that warning screen was like outside of the car for some reason. So you couldn't like see like where where it was driving or whatever. And it did it on both of them. So it's a problem with the SteamOS version. I don't know what that's all about, but anyway, so if you start up the game and that happens, don't worry. Like once the car parks or whatever and you get out, everything is fine after that, at least up to the point that I played it. So here you can see now we have, you know, put the video cassette in. So we are now in that found footage portion. So basically you're the cameraman here, which is super cool. I really like this. So it's kind of like you're the documentarian in this little found footage thing. So it's super cool. Really fun idea. I don't think this game gets enough credit. I mean, it really just sparked the Capcom Renaissance. You know, after this, we got all of the super awesome remakes, Resident Evil 2, 3, 4, and kind of Capcom just kind of like came back on the map. And I like Resident Evil Village too. I think it has some really great high points. I don't love all of it. Like, I don't like the Village stuff, and I don't like really the more action-heavy stuff, and that's kind of why I started Resident Evil 4, but kind of fell off it. Like, I don't vibe with that survival horror as much as, like, I really like slow, plodding, methodical, environmental puzzles and stuff like that, much more than the action-heavy stuff. And the action-heavy stuff, too, obviously it has its place, and people typically like those games more. And if that's you, hey, all the better for you. But that's not this game. This game is not, Resident Evil Village style, Resident Evil 4 style. This is more like, it's kind of like a spiritual successor to Resident Evil 1, which I think is why I like it so much. Like a large part of it takes place in this manor here, which, in the first game, obviously a large part of the game takes place in the mansion. I just love that. I really hope they get around to remaking it. Because the GameCube remake one, it is cool, it is nice, and it got rid of the tank controls, makes it a little more playable for people. And I think it's totally playable now as well, but I would love a full-blown, like, hardcore remake with, like, the modern graphics and all that stuff would be just awesome. So, whenever Capcom, they will get around to it for sure. I really can't wait till that happens. But back to the video here. Again, there's not, you can see this particular point. The Legion Go S does sometimes drop a little bit lower than the Steam Deck Oled. And again, it's pushing way more pixels. Now, if you're curious too, I did, load this up previously too and just put it at 800p to see what it did. And it was just like, boom, like a locked 120 in the, the minute or two I played like that. And I was like, okay, that's fine. And, typically you guys, it doesn't matter when we do a versus video. I always get like, why'd you show it like this? You should show it like this. And so I try to do my best here. Like, so this is like kind of like, let's put the best foot forward for both of these devices and see what they look like. So like the Legion Go S is running like basically at the highest settings, highest resolution. And this is the way I would play it for sure. And the same thing with the Steam Deck Oled. And whether you have either one or you're considering either one of these two devices, I think this game runs great on either one of them. I don't think you're going to have any problems at all. But you can definitely see the benefit and the extra power and the extra horsepower of the Legion Go S, the Z1 Extreme model. Even though supposedly maybe AMD might be dropping support for the Z1 Extreme in terms of driver updates, which they better not. Or at least I've seen reports that says that Asus was doing that, dropping support, that Lenovo was dropping support, that AMD was dropping support. Let's just hope that's not true. The chip is only a couple years old. Like, that's ridiculous if they're already dropping support for driver updates. So I'm just cautiously optimistic that that's not the case, but I guess we'll see. But that's super irritating. I mean, the Legion Go S isn't even a year old yet. Like, give me a break. Anyway, that part of the rant is over. So back onto the video here. This is like, I thought this was a really clever way to like, if, because this game was kind of like reintroducing people to Resident Evil and maybe people who never played the old games. And this like little found footage section was like a kind of a way to get people into the environmental puzzle mechanics of it. And like, hey, you were in this room and like you could have opened this little door and then got, you know what I mean? I actually don't think it lets you do that, but it's kind of showing you like, hey, these are the kinds of things that you're going to have to do in terms of like puzzling in the game. So I thought this was a really clever way to do it. Like basically showing you somebody else doing it in the found footage for you to go back and do it later. Super cool idea. Which one do you guys think looks better? I think the Obviously, the Steam Deck Oled, the contrast and the deep blacks is a really great way to play a survival horror game, especially one where you've got like a lot of vignetting on the screen because like you're using a flashlight a lot and a lot of the screen is dark. So that's really kind of hard to beat. Like if I had these two devices, I might pick the Steam Deck to play it on just because of the HDR, the OLED, the contrast ratio, and it's running great at 90 FPS, all the high settings. And I really don't know what kind. I mean, Steam Deck, usually like you play a lower resolution game, like 720p, something like that, 800p. You can usually tell, but like Steam Deck does a great job with their image quality. But hey, that's it, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Resident Evil Requiem videos coming later this week. Thumbs up, drop me a comment down below, subscribe, and we will see you on Friday for some more.